There was a moment where you said, you know what? This might get pretty ugly for the Knicks. Not a whole lot of juice, but somehow they find a way to get it done. First time in NBA playoff history, the game ones in both the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference Finals go overtime. It is a brand new edition of the association. We are presented by Caesars Sportsbook. They're down 22 points, the Knicks, in the fourth quarter. 22 points. We're sitting in the green room. It didn't have much. MSG, we talked about it in the pregame. It was dead in there. I mean, they're just sitting there watching Donovan Mitchell go off in this game, and it doesn't matter. Jalen Brunson just totally takes over.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was...
You don't even believe it. I could see it in your face. We did witness that.
It was a weird game. We were back in the green room, and we were thinking this game was going to be over, done. Series is going to be a wash. And it gave us some excitement, man.
Yeah.
In true New York fashion.
You know what? There was a reason why I picked
Jalen Brunson
to be my Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Because of moments like this, I say he's going to have the ball in his hands and be able to make plays for his teammates. And they did it when they needed it most. Again, down 22 points, 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
We didn't see any fight. They scored 23 points in the first 3 quarters. Their offense was struggling throughout. And then all of a sudden, they flipped the switch. And that's what this Knicks team has been doing ever since they entered into the postseason, flipped the switch. And this was a sight to behold.
Yeah. You mentioned Brunson, 15 points in the fourth quarter. It's a 30-8 run to close things out with about 7.5 minutes to go in regulation. It obviously goes overtime. Knicks are able to roll. There's like this moment, and you use that phrase, flip the switch. It always concerns me. Teams in the NBA where they're just, OKC's a great example of it. There's no switch to be flipped, right? Like it's just dominant. It's that inconsistency that the Knicks have played with fire for most of this season. It didn't look like that was the case. Last 8 games now at this point, it's an 8-game winning streak, 7 straight. Rudy, it felt like they couldn't miss shots during that 7-game winning streak. They struggled out of the gate, but yet somehow, some way, that mental fortitude late in this game, they just never gave up.
Well, I think this is, we can say they're up and down. I think at this point it's just their identity. Yeah. You know, I think they know they have a guy in Brunson that can get them, will them to wins. And as we've seen today and times before, they know they have that. You know, I think this is their strategy. They come out there, they move the ball around, they play defense. At the end of the day, they wait for Jalen Brunson to take them home, and that's what he did.
Now let's continue to talk about Jalen Brunson for a moment. As you see in these replays, he was going heavily at James Harden.
Yeah.
And James Harden, sometimes I felt like he gave up on a defensive play where he'll reach. Let me see if this is a reach moment. The reach right there. There was one he reached. Jalen went right by him, and Jalen hit the floater. They were targeting James Harden. And James Harden didn't have it not only on the defensive end, but he didn't have it on the offensive end as well. 6 turnovers. Remember, we talked about they have to control the ball, control the tempo in order to give themselves a chance in MSG. 19 turnovers by the Knicks today. By the Cavs. 6 turnovers for James Harden.
We were doing an association. Coach Fizdale was sitting right where you're sitting, Chris, and it was the Cavaliers and the Pistons, and he just kept saying, they're picking on Harden, they're picking on Harden.
They did that.
And then you saw it here, especially late in this game where Jalen Brunson, I mean, they're just looking for that matchup, and Brunson able to deliver once again with 15 points in the fourth quarter. Knicks somehow down 22 points in that final frame, able to force overtime. Their first lead in the second half came off of free throws in the extra session, and here we go. It's the Knicks somehow taking a 1-0 series lead against the Cavaliers. We'll show you exactly how it all played out. The buzz, the energy in New York. You guys talked about it in the pregame show. Like, these fans are ready to go.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah, it's nothing like the Garden this time of year.
Jalen Brunson, 9-day layoff after coming off the sweep of the 76ers. Donovan Mitchell, huge performance against the Pistons in the last round. Spider here buries it.
Yeah, early on, Spider had it going. He was an unstoppable force. It didn't matter who was guarding him. He was able to impose his will.
Now, 4-3 the game for him, but the Cavaliers up 21. A little bit later, they're down 22 in the Knicks.
That's what we're talking about right here.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, going at James Harden, seeking out that screen, seeking out that mismatch.
Brunson again. I mean, look at that angle.
And Mike, would you believe me if I told you he kept doing it?
Yeah.
No, this is definitely a strategy.
Mike,
you know,
he's not done, Mike.
No, this is definitely a strategy.
Mike, he's not done.
Not done. Look who he's picking on. It's Harden again.
Mike, I'm telling you right now, it's still not done.
Sometimes, you know, when you find a matchup like that, you want to save it.
Look.
No,
Three.
no, but seriously,
Come on, Rudy.
no. Sometimes when you find a matchup like that, you want to save it, which is probably why they went through it so heavily in the fourth quarter, and it brought them back. But like, you can't go 4 games. It gives teams a chance to, you know, to make adjustments.
Mobley, by the way, had himself a heck of a game. We'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. By the way, the Brunson 3 that we showed you, that was the only one he hit in the game. The Knicks struggled from distance. You see another big-time 3 from Bridges there. They're within 4 off of that bucket.
Yeah.
Bridges again.
Bridges and Shamet.
Who's guard?
I don't want to seem like I'm picking on him now. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about. Rudy, stop it, Rudy. Stop it, Rudy.
I was just asking the question.
Shamet, that ball hit every
This was a big one right here. This was a big one right here. This is a big one.
Needed a bucket to try to help stop that bleeding.
Then here we go.
Harden in this game at 15 points.
Here we go.
I don't have to ask.
At a certain point, I would expect an adjustment. Get Harden off of Mitchell, come with the double.
Yeah.
Get the ball out of Jalen's hands. Look, Shamet again.
Yeah.
Oh, who?
Oh, man. It's, you know.
You want to talk about big buckets from Shamet off the bench, 3 threes in this game.
Shamet and Mikal Bridges, OG, they had big plays, made big plays, huge contributions on the offensive end.
I mean, when you consider a run, it's 44-11. That's the run in favor of the New York Knicks, who have now won 8 consecutive games in this postseason. We talked about the 22-point deficit for New York. Officially in the rearview mirror when it was all said and done in overtime. Cleveland was 64-1 all-time in the postseason when holding a double-digit lead to start the fourth quarter heading into this game. Brunson goes for 38 points, and here he is.
Jalen, you guys were down 22 points with 7:40 to go.
A scintillating comeback for New York.
In that fourth quarter, you know, those 2 threes, prayer threes, end of shot clock. And we got a little unlucky, quite honestly. You know, Brunson obviously took over at the end, and you know, we started double teaming him and try to do some different things. But listen, I'm super proud of the way our group played. We played great basketball tonight for, you know, 3 quarters. You know, unfortunately, fourth quarter. You know, they dominated us in the fourth quarter. You know.
What do you think happened when you guys had the ball in the fourth?
When we had the ball, what are you saying, offensively? Yeah, you know, if my only regret, and this, you know, this can happen when you get a little fatigued. I think I mean, we were pinging the ball all over the place, great ball movement, and then it just got a little stagnant. And I told the guys, I said, we played great basketball the majority of the game. Just the ball stuck at the end there a little bit. Got to keep trusting pass. And then, but I'll also say we got a ton of great looks that didn't go in. So, you know, we'll look at it. I think decisions got to be better, you know, especially when we get fatigued. Sometimes we tend to want to, you know, put our heads down too much. Just got to find the open guy.
Donovan turn something there? He seemed to be.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Nothing from the training camp. From the training staff. So I haven't heard anything.
Did you feel like he had the ball enough in that down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, we you know, obviously tried to you know, attack their weaker defenders. Obviously, yeah, he had the ball. I thought he had the ball a ton. You know. Yeah.
When you look ahead towards game 2, do you look at matchup or coverage to try to slow him down?
I mean, we held him in check most of the game, right? It was basically fourth quarter. He got loose, and you know, we definitely tried to mix up some stuff, throw some stuff at him. We'll have to keep looking at it. Hit a lot of, you know, his tough floaters and hit that, you know, tough contested 3. You know, I felt like they hit a lot of tough shots, you know. I mean, the 2 Bridges threes, like, you know, kind of what are you going to do, you know? Yeah.
Apologies if this is
That's all right.
But it seemed like they were kind of going after James late in the game, and
Yeah, we adjusted. We adjusted to that. Started sending it to Adam, getting the ball out of his hands, full rotating. So we adjusted. James was good most of the game. Listen, we weren't great defensively in the fourth quarter.